Good morning. Good morning. I look forward to introducing you all to Odin, Peraton's operationally dynamic information network. My name is Terry of the Lines. I'm a senior advisor at Peraton. Probably considered a super user of the Odin platform. I'm joined today by Dr. Jason Chang from Peraton's Strategic Integration Group, Peraton Labs, who's also Odin's chief architect. The inspiration for developing a platform like Odin really came from the realization that the United States and its partners really are unable to compete dollar for dollar in the information environment with our adversaries. It really means that we have to work smarter with what we have. China invests eight times more than the US, Russia's almost double, and then when you take in the atmospherics such as more inexpensive labor, as well as other outreach initiatives like China's Belt and Road initiative, you really have to work smarter with the dollars you have to have any say in this information warfare. There are certain criteria, though, that we had when we set out to establish Odin. First of all, we needed a single integration platform for analysis and assessment. It had to be secure, had to be cloud-based, had to allow for geospatial analysis, also had to allow for extracting the data to export it for further deeper dives in the analysis. So we brought in our partners at Peraton Labs, as well as our technicians across our vendor partners to really look at how we can integrate things into a single platform. Because we knew we wanted to leverage the latest in AI tools, machine learning, large language models, as well as integrate social sciences from in-field surveys to focus groups to key influencer interviews, one-on-ones, all in one accessible platform. And what really sets Odin apart is this human-machine teaming. Odin is more than just a technical solution. Odin allows for reach back to subject matter experts from across numerous fields. We allow for RFI submissions in reporting, as well as assessment teams who are using Odin on a regular basis to do their assessments for against objectives. And ultimately, it has to be agile. Being currently on aisle 5, but with the goal is to be aisle 6 and eventually aisle 7. I'm going to let Jason sort of walk us a little bit through the architecture of what he and his team were able to develop for us.
Okay, thank you, Terry. So my name is Jason Chang. I'm from Peraton Labs. I'm the lead architect for this system, Odin system. So we started building out the Odin in IL5 cool environment. So basically, we collected information, from social scientist research and also public information sources, and also then we use the AI and analytic tool. So one thing I would like to mention about is nowadays everybody is using generative AI. Anything different than in Odin? So I think that I can give you like three major differences. One thing is differentiator. So the first differentiator is Odin allows people to filter out information. That is, in case that you want the Odin to answer some questions, and you only want to focus on, say, Russian media, and also Russian media published in Russian or in English or in other languages, you can say so. Then Odin will only answer questions based on such filter criteria. So that's one of the key differentiator in Odin. The second differentiator I would say is that Odin has the capability to do the fine-grained sentiment analysis because we are helping the information analysts to analyze the information. So not only we are analyzing the overall sentiment of an article, of a social media post, but we can also get into the entity level, such as I wanted to know the opinion of a particular article on Russia or on United States, or on China. And you can even go next level, that is aspect. That is, I wanted to know people's sentiment on China's, say, Belt and Road Initiative, so you can get into the next level and to the final grain analysis, And the third one is also is a very important differentiator. That is, Odin can help you to verify the information sources, rather than just using generative AI to generate some answers to your question. But Odin will also give you a list of references where the answers came from. So this is very important for information analytics, because it's not like just asking the tool or AI tool to generate something for you. You also wanted to know where those answers came from, right? So even though you may not know whether those information is correct or not, but at least it can give you the information sources, which is a very important thing for analysts to put the judgment on. So we built out that information, the Odin system in IL5, and currently we are working with our customer to do the cross-domain solution into IL6. It's almost there. So we have a lot of challenges that we have to go through in order to get the information from the IL5 to IL6, but we are almost there. And so one thing I like to mention is that Odin, as you know, the generative AI requires a large language models. We can work with a commercial model such as GPT, and we can also work with open source models. So we have both capabilities. So the outcome is that we can support the full spectrum OIE analysis and assessment, by using one single platform, and we also integrated our partners' capabilities, and they have all kind of nice tools, say to do the BotNet analysis, to do some social media analysis, and so on. And we also have this cross-domain solution. That is, we can push all the information we collected in the on-class domain and push them into the class domain. And so we can also allow the examination of millions of friendly and adversary messages, OIE activities. Currently, we are doing IL5, but we foresee that in the near future, we are going to do the IL6 as well to do the integration analysis. And so, the last thing, but not the least, is that we have these RFI responses that we got from all the analysts. And actually, our generative AI capability can be leveraging the information from the RFI to provide the information to the users.
And so that really brings us to Odin itself, this operationally dynamic information network. Odin allows the U.S. and its partners to really work smarter in a really holistic way, providing a comprehensive view of what's going on in both friendly and adversary narratives, event evaluation. We can do in-field surveys, examining across the region, as well as malign activity. This is a part of what we can do as an analyst, but also the platform includes a knowledge management tool where all reports can reside on the same platform with a simple search to help you find the information you're looking for, as well as Jason mentioned, RFI management to submit all the way through to approval and going into the repository, as well as the large language model to help analysts really get a head start on all the data on the platform. Not only was the tool developed by Peraton in terms of the entire architecture of it, but there are other customized elements of it that Peraton has added that include some geospatial visualization. This particular, what you're seeing here is a hotspot of events in the area of interest. With the geospatial visualization, you can even drill down into specific areas to look at almost to the village and community area of where events are happening and what may be happening in those areas. Odin also includes Peraton's integrated global media analysis. This is a tool that really is examining global news media. And what you're seeing here is our adversary media over the last year as this discussion of the United States, along with some judgment against the sentiment of that media in terms of those topic areas. It also allows for plotting of events. Here we're picked one area of the world, examining the events, peaks and valleys of where events happen, again, providing areas of inquiry for analysts as they do their work to be able to drill in to see what's actually happening and report that back out in terms of the impact and consequences. Odin also allows for integration of vendor tools. It's vendor agnostic. This particular tool you're seeing here is goes to whole. It is a media monitoring tool, customized dashboards on topics of interest, examining the entire media landscape of those topics. Also includes tracking and analysis of malign activity. This one's provided by Stix AI. Being able to look at botnet activity and so forth. Social media, social surveys, in-market, in-field surveys, where you're tracking opinions as it relates to very specific topics in very specific areas of the world. And even tools that can help us understand internet searches of topics of interest. It's not just what are people searching for, but you can frame your dashboards, customize them to what's of interest to you and your mission, and be able to see where the traffic is going, trends, and peaks and valleys. And as we've been talking about, it also has very robust RFI management, where tracking all the way through from the submission of that RFI, collaboration with the analytical team who is responding to the RFI. The RFI tool is accessible to anyone who has access to Odin. We work with the customer. We have several different instances of Odin. Those customers set up their own criteria for the process, for approvals, for alerts, for how the collaboration will work, and how the ultimate sign-off that RFI has been approved and then completed, and then where does it go finally into the repository of reports in its life afterwards. Now that we sort of give me that broad overview of Odin, let's talk briefly about some use cases on how you use this tool. So we've got this tool with all these inputs. How might you use it on your day-to-day work as an analyst? A topic of global interest is understanding the information environment around China's global security and global development initiative. We can set up custom dashboards, like you see here on the left, that can provide both a global and local view of a narrative around very specific topics that you've set up. This particular interest is, again, China's global security and global development initiative. It also allows you to see, as you see the red circle, is to identify key influencers around this topic, and then to dig deeper to look at their social connections and their social network analysis. Being able to also, having that global view of this narrative, we can drill down into that narrative. The example you're seeing here is a European perspective of the discussion around this initiative. We can drill down, for example, into Austria and pick out and look at the specific narratives that are in that country to understand what the motivation, what the topics are, how they are discussing this particular initiative. Again, in terms of how the minds and hearts and minds are being shaped around this particular initiative. Odin is definitely used around advancement towards or against objectives. One of the things that we are able to use is let's examine the information environment, attitudes, and events as it relates to military exercises. We can examine these exercises pre, post, during the exercise to understand the information environment. If this is a regular exercise that's done either yearly or biannually, you can compare and contrast the information environment year over year, as well as if you know an adversary may be also doing an exercise in the region in the coming months, you can set up trackers to understand that comparison and contrast, not only from an information environment, but also examining the events, and then ultimately even doing surveys as it relates to awareness of that event, and particularly the attitudes that may have been changed because of that event, either again for or against your objectives, to understand how the attitudes in the region might be shifting. Another use case you might be able to examine is of national interest is the Ukraine war. What's happening there? I'll draw your attention first to the upper left-hand side. We have what we call widgets. You have two widgets. One widget is the one on the left is strictly examining social media on topics that may be indicators of setbacks for Russia. The widget to the right is looking at all media except social media. Again, same topics, but being able to see, compare and contrast. They're not the same. You're seeing conversations on social media that are different than the general media, and you can see where they are. And with this particular tool, you're able to drill down on each of those peaks and examine the conversation that's driving that. But on the flip side, on the bottom right-hand side, you're seeing the global media conversation around the United States assistance to Ukraine. You can see the specific equipment pieces that we've supplied or are talking of supplying to Ukraine in that conversation around that. And on the bottom left, again, we can examine the malign activity, examining where the botnets are, what they're talking about, and even drill down to see what the conversation is they're attempting to promote. So as you can see, that regardless of the question you're attempting to answer, Odin can be customized to address that mission set and to that particular questions and objectives. One of our more recent advancements in Odin is the addition of the LLM. To really help our analysts get a head start on the analysis of all this data. We've named Odin's LLM Ask Odin. Ask Odin utilizes right now OpenAI and leverages retrieval augmented generation to pull relevant articles for all users. And it really simply starts by entering a query into the prompt box. In this particular example, here we've asked Odin, how does Chinese media characterize the U.S. approach to the Gaza-Israeli conflict? So not only has the LLM provided us with a response and organized that response, it also references the articles from which it is summarized to provide that response. It allows you to go to an article view then to actually examine those specific articles. Because as an analyst, you get that additional confirmation of the truth and being able to report that back out with the level of confidence that you have. So what we've been able to do today is give you a really top-line overview of this single cloud-based platform that really is a one-stop place for analysts to come and to get all of their information. If you want to learn more about Odin, come up to Salon G. We can give you a full demo of the platform and how we use it on a day-to-day basis. We have time. We have plenty of time for questions. Well, we thank you all. Appreciate it.